Hello Game community, it's Tim here and I'm here with Andrew from Sumo Newcastle who are just about to release their game Deathsprint 66 that's coming out on PC and we're here to have a chat about it. So first and foremost, Andrew, welcome to Cologne. How's it been? How's your experience been so far?
Awesome as always. I love Gamescom. It's just absolute madness and you've got to embrace it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we just had a look at Deathsprint 66. So tell us, like, what in the Mad Max Death Race Hunger Games have we got going on here? Tell us a bit about your game.
Well, I'm not allowed to mention the films. I'll get wrong. But let's just say, if a certain 80s film director who did a robotic cop directed a movie about someone that runs, you might end up with this concept. So I can't name the references as explicitly on the money, but it's a racing game, it's a bipedal game, you're racing on foot in a dystopian universe, and it's a game show, so it's all about fun, but it's all about blood and circuses, so it's very violent, it's a hard 18 game, and it should be chaotic fun, but also quite mid-core skill based. It takes some skill on that pad, to be honest, as you've just discovered. I
can confirm it takes a little bit of skill, but I have the highest score in the game's history. I will not ask for any references, but we'll just go with that. So what inspired the idea altogether? I mean, you've got some movie inspirations there, but how did the idea come about altogether?
Absolutely. I'm a lifelong snowboarder, and I'm obsessed with things like flow state mechanics, when we were looking at it, after we did a game called Hood, Outlaws and Legends, which is like a stealth simulator, and we wanted to kind of build on that experience of doing third-person action, and we just took it to the nth degree. We're like, okay, what would it look like if you could wall run and rail grind and zip line and use your body weight and run, and it just all kind of fed into this prototype, which was just insanely good fun. From the get-go, when we were playing on a very bare bones kind of Unreal prototype, we had 8 people running around. It was just chaotic brilliance, and we thought, right, there's a game here, and we built the world up around it really to support that core kind of flow state mechanic.
Okay, so the whole pretense of the game is that it's a television show and you're here to entertain the masses, and a big part of that, from my understanding, was that it's a lot to do with hype and a lot to do with fame as sort of key mechanics. Can you sort of touch on what to expect?
If you think of it as fame is like rank, and hype is like XP, but interestingly what we do is the hype that you earn during a match will feed your surge gauge, which is our version of like a booster, so you get 3 tanks of surge which you can fire off, so it's like nitrous for the feet. But also that converts to score as well, so hype is something that you get, effectively it's like our version of likes. So when you're wall running, when you're doing all these cool stunts and traversals, you're constantly earning hype. And you can also pick up hype tokens on the tracks. They're the little lightning bolts that you saw, so that gives you some of those old school, Sonic vibes, like collecting the rings. And all of that's basically feeding into the momentum system. So the more you're using the boost, the more hype you're earning, the faster and faster everything gets, until it becomes almost uncontrollable.
I can confirm, having tried one of the harder game modes, it was something else. That's for sure. So as far as the launch content is concerned, are people going to get the full game upon launch, or have we got some post content?
Absolutely. At launch, we're doing it for a sensible price. I think we're around the $20 mark, whatever it is now, and there's 20 odd PvP kind of core maps in there that people will be playing. And the core PvP kind of showtime game mode is where we have all the matchmaking, and you're never left waiting around for a match. We will fill it with bots if we need to, but you're always in this continuous playlist. The game show doesn't want you to stop. It wants you to keep performing for those cameras. At launch, you get everything.
Okay.
So all of the cosmetics. So you've got your banners, your emojis, which are your scoring feed, and all of the running suits. Mm-hmm. But then there is a plan to bring stuff out after launch. But it's it's not a game as a service in the traditional sense. It's like we wanted to get a really amazing experience out for a good value proposition, and then build a community with that.
Yeah, and just before we sort of wrap things up, I want to touch on the community as well, because I saw on your X page there's been a lot of involvement. So can you touch on, has the community had a big influence over the decisions you've made in the lead up to launch?
Yeah, so surprisingly, I mean, we love reading about stuff that validates what we thought was fun.
Absolutely.
And by and large, it has done that.
Yep.
It's been a rapid development. We kind of moved very quickly through our gates internally, and we're looking at a game which we managed to get together in probably only just a little over a year, so it's been very, very fast.
Yep.
I would have loved to have done more community play tests. We did our kind of public technical tests last week, it was, so that's where we opened the doors and allowed a lot more people in. So it's really good now for me and for the team to sit and watch Twitch and watch people just get it, and they click with it. Not everyone does, but the people that click with it, wow, it really resonates. So yeah, that's something that we'll be monitoring and being actively involved in. Community suggestions, community feedback about what people like, what they don't like, what they'd want to see in future content, which maps are their favorites, that kind of stuff, or any crazy ideas they've got for game modes, that kind of stuff.
All right, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon with some more Gamescom coverage.